Hello and welcome to the Climbing Daily Wednesday news show, and welcome all our podcast listeners out there hearing us coming through their ears.
The lovely ears.
Don't know where I was going with that.
First up in the show, we have some very sad news from France. The devastating news of the death of French climber Luce Douady was announced on Monday after she fell whilst on an exposed approach path to a climbing sector near her home in Saint-Bernard near Grenoble. Luce was just 16 and was seen as one of the most promising climbing talents to emerge in France. Already a youth world champion, after last year's event in Arco, Luce debuted on the World Cup boulder circuit with a hugely impressive 5th place finish in Vale. She had just managed to climb her first 8B+ and was apparently working an 8C+ in Seus. A huge talent that will be sorely missed. Our thoughts are with the family and friends of Luce at this sad time.
Luce Douady. In a strong field, she is perhaps the most promising of the French youngsters, certainly up there. France packed with good climbers, and Luce Douady, one of the very best. Here's Luce Douady. Here she goes.
Nice.
No problem on the jump. Luce Douady, first World Cup, first semi-final, first final, first top. She has absolutely smashed her way through these boulders. Everything she's topped, she's flashed. No wonder she's emotional. She's won the competition on the last boulder. She had to flash it to take it out of anyone's hands, and she has done it.
So really, horrible news coming from the weekend. Luce Douady, who was about to launch herself, I think, on the scene. She basically finished 5th in Vale, like I just said. She was world youth champion from Arco last year. It's just devastating.
Yeah.
In such, accents are never great, but the fact that she was just walking on her way to a sector just shows you never know kind of thing.
No, absolutely. And the amount of support that she's had from the climbing industry, so many Instagram posts just sending out her love to her. So yeah, as you said, our hearts go out to her friends and family at the moment.
Absolutely.
Now, our favourite weekend warrior, Mr. Roland Hemmetsberger, he has been back ascending once again. Roland has repeated Quai, a 9A+ put up in 1996 by Stefan Furst. The route didn't see another repeat until Adam Ondra came along 23 years later. Roland becomes the third person to climb the route, which sounds like a unique challenge. Both Roland and Adam struggled during the send, and Roland fell at least 45 times on the upper 8A boulder crux, having already done the bottom 8C sport climbing section. So that route's in Tyrol, so in Austria. And yeah, I didn't realise, so 3 ascents, 23 years. The dude did it, 23 years later, Adam turned up, he did it. But can you imagine falling 45 times?
Yeah.
Having already climbed 8C.
That's a lot of weekends.
Yeah, well, he's climbed 8C 45 times to then fall off it. I mean, what a legend.
So 8C at the bottom, 8A+ at the top.
Yeah, well, there's an 8A, so 8C Sport to the bottom to reach this 8A boulder crux. And people ask about this. Sometimes sport routes have a boulder problem graded in them just to give an idea of the difficulties of that moves. It's not a boulder problem on top of a sport climb. It's just the way you can tell, sort of thing.
I always find that kind of quite mentally difficult to imagine myself doing a boulder problem from the ground.
Yeah.
Then thinking about it, doing it with the exposure.
Oh, just insane.
Yeah.
Like my life dream goal is to climb an 8A boulder, right? Can you imagine doing that having just done an 8C? Just
yeah.
Pros. Crazy.
Exactly. Another big send from France as Seb Bouin has climbed Biography. French climber Seb Bouin has managed to climb the historical route Biography, the world's first 9A+ at Seus in France. Seb fell on the upper crux 3 times before finally sending. This is the 19th ascent of the route after Chris Sharma's historic first ascent back in 2001. Seb's ascent was part of his filming for the Vintage Rock Tour, an EpicTV exclusive series. This will be part of the 3rd episode, so stay tuned. So Seb Bouin continues to go around crushing everything. But yes, this is going to be part of the Vintage Rock Tour.
Excellent. That's been brilliant. We have Verdon Gorge. That was a big one. And then what was it? Books?
Books. Yeah, Books.
With Ben Moon.
Books, yeah.
That was great. It's a cool series.
Yeah. So looking forward to seeing that. That's going to be dropping, I think, in the next month or so. So if you haven't seen the first 2 episodes, go and watch them. They will link in the description below. For the podcasts, go to YouTube and type in Vintage Rock Tour Seb Bouin and you'll find them.
Excellent. Now, it's getting a little bit late for font season. It's in June now. It's getting warm, but the recent cold weather has given this little weather window, so the athletes have been back at it. Caroline Sino has sent her second Font 8B boulder, Mysterio. The line is short but intense with 4 hard moves, and the last move being a tricky dino. She becomes the first female to send this remote Fontainebleau boulder. Quite interesting when I was researching this because on the Planet Mountain write-up, well, AA.nu write-up, sorry, it talks about how she's done 4 Font 8B traverses, but this is only her second 8B boulder because I'd forgotten that the traverse grade is a whole different grade in font. Totally forgotten that. So Caroline, she sent 8B traverses, but there's a second 8B proper boulder. In
And
font.
how? So just to explain for people who don't understand that, like myself.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the traverse grade and the normal grade?
I'm glad you asked because I don't really know. But it's in the same principle as that. You get someone who's get long boulder problems that are graded as sport grades. It's a similar idea with the font grade. So I think it's if you were to put them side by side, an 8B traverse would be slightly easier than an 8B straight boulder, but it would be more endurancey, longer, more towards a sport grade. But exactly how they add up, I don't really know because that traverse grade has sort of come out of fashion almost in recent years, so it's just not really done that much. So I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess people are more into more powerful kind of big problems.
I know for personally, traverses frustrate me because I feel like I've done a lot of work just to go sideways.
Yeah.
I like to be on top of something,
Yeah.
So it was, I feel like I have to work very hard for my send.
I quite like the traverses because you're always staying quite close to the ground.
True, yeah.
So
easier to pad.
as long as somebody's there to kind of pad with you.
Yeah. I always thought there'd be some kind of system where you trailed a rope off you to the boulder pad. So as you moved, you dragged the boulder pad with you.
Kind of I've been looking into getting, we got a little swimming pool in our house, and I've been looking to get one of those bungees that you tie around. And you can just swim on the spot.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You could probably
like
use one of them to do it.
That would work. It's fun.
Yeah.
We'll come up with this, patent it and all that.
I think solo traversing.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, next up, we've got news of a Norwegian climber climbing in Flatanger. 8A.nu has reported that Norwegian climber Maria Davies Sandbu has managed to climb her third 8C route, Nordic Flower, in the iconic Flatanger Cave. Maria, who is about to start a post as a junior doctor, took 3 to 4 days to work the extension part of this route, having already climbed Nordic Plumber 2 years ago, a route which shares the bottom part. She then started trying from the bottom and managed to make the ascent on her third go. So this is the first I've ever heard of Maria Davies Sandbu, but she's going to become a junior doctor, which is fair play. But she still managed to climb 8C, Nordic Flower, and Nordic Plumber. Nordic Plumber was done by Mina Leziujastic, I think 2018 or 2019.
Okay.
It was remember she was in Flatanger.
Yeah, I do. I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
And she did, and she came back, and she came back for a wedding.
Oh, that
and
was
then
it.
went back for Nordic Plumber to finish
because
off.
she was so desperate to send it, she felt like she was really close. I remember. I do remember. Okay.
Super cool route, I would imagine, and Flatanger looks in good shape at the moment, apparently.
Have you ever been?
I have never been. I don't think we've been to Norway once, haven't we?
To
see Magnus.
To see Magnus, yeah, and got lost.
But I think Flatanger's more up
Well,
north.
if you didn't, oh no, yeah, you're right, yeah. Sorry.
But iconic images from that, that one's where it's they're in shadow and you look out on the lakes.
Yeah, and it's just all...
Norway looks immense.
It does.
As always.
So, Swiss athlete Sasha Layman, we kind of missed this, to be honest, because back in May, he put up this outrageous tick list of climbs. Sacha Layman competes on the IFSC circuit and won his first World Cup lead round last year. Sasha sent 4 9As in May. Masala T, Jungfrau Marathon, Alpenbitter, and a first ascent, Schwarz Monk. Sasha trained hard during lockdown in Switzerland and is waiting to see how the IFSC season takes place, if it does at all. But he's got his eyes on some future rock climbing projects. Sasha Layman is one of those dudes who he hasn't come out of nowhere because he's been on the scene, but I think he certainly came into people's mindset last year. He won that World Cup round. He's super strong, but he's never been that strong. And so obviously just stepping up a bit and 4 9As in a month is pretty impressive.
I love the fact that these ticks are happening kind of around the 8C to 9A kind of grade by women and men. And it's just all these comp climbers who haven't got any comps to climb in. Yeah. So they're just let's use all the strength and go climbing real rock.
Yeah, bizarrely, Corona's got this golden age of rock climbing that's come through.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
I remember back in the day when 9A was a big deal. And I'm not saying it's a big deal, but like the fact that he's doing 4 9As and then we're hearing regular kind of ticks of that grade is insane.
Yeah, it's when we have to scan for the news and we're sort of like, it's another 9A. Should we include that in the news
exactly.
show? Is it news anymore? Who knows? Yeah, it's
exactly. Next up, we're going to be talking about Black Diamond.
Yes. Okay. So the Black Diamond controversy, let's say, that's coming out of Black Diamond. It's quite a complicated issue. It's to do with parent companies, who owns what. So I'll try to give a basic breakdown of what's going on. In recent weeks, we've seen some controversy surrounding Black Diamond. It's all about Black Diamond board member Warren Kanders. Warren is also the executive chairman of a company called Claris Corporation. Within the Claris Corporation portfolio is a number of other companies, including a company called Safrilad, which produce tear gas, and Sierra, who manufacture bullets. People have been extremely vocal and angry about the link to Black Diamond from those companies, and there's been calls to cut ties with Warren and the companies discussed. Black Diamond have put out a statement about this on their Instagram account, saying that the companies are run separately, but they will be taking a hard look at the link and their policy moving forwards. So it's a tricky one to unpack this. It's not Black Diamond who are producing tear gas or bullets. It's a member of their board who's a member of another board, and within that board, there's all these other companies. So it's a link between Black Diamond and these companies. And people are saying, look, really, at this time when everything's up, all over the world, Black Lives Matter is kicking off a lot. It's like whether companies need to start paying a little bit more attention to their board members and the links with their board members. I think it's tricky. Like I think a lot of companies are huge corporations. They're run. There's lots of different factors. How deep do you go into this rabbit hole of who owns what, who's doing what? But it's not a great link to have, especially at the moment. And you were saying something about their Instagram post, which it sort of felt a bit odd.
Yeah, I think before I want to say this, like we know the guys at Black Diamond. They're a good bunch of guys. I think stuff like this is possibly, out of their control, the level that we kind of connect with. I think it's kind of probably the higher up guys. But I think maybe it was a little bit of a misstep. Although, having said that, I think there's an initial reaction you can get to it, but then it was like it felt like it was a Black Lives Matter post, and then they kind of linked in. There was like it was a very positive message about Black Lives Matter, and then they kind of added this bit on as well. But then actually, you did like scroll through the photos. It's like still learning, still adapting kind of thing. So I think it was aimed as like our overall message that they're like, they don't have all the answers to Black Lives Matter. They're still trying to learn, and they're trying to figure it out. I think it's good that this has been highlighted. I think stuff like this, they need to look at it, kind of thing, and address it and figure out if it's something that they want to kind of carry on being associated with. It's a question that needs to be raised, and it will be interesting to see what the reaction is. I think it's okay to allow them to have time to kind of look at it, kind of thing. But I think it's good that it's been raised, definitely.
Yeah. And I think there's no. It's not saying that Black Diamond are doing this thing from their factories. It's just saying that, look, you're affiliated to these people who are doing this. Is that okay? And should you look at it more closely?
I think, the questions, they need to ask the questions of themselves because people are asking the questions, kind of thing. And I think that's right.
Yeah. Cool. 9B counter?
9B counter.
Okay, so there hasn't been a huge amount on this week. Someone was pointing out or telling me on comments that Jimmy Webb should be... Because I said last week that Adam Ondra's winning the 8C plus counter. Apparently Jimmy Webb is, but we've only got one down. So have we missed a Jimmy Webb 8C plus?
I'm not sure, but definitely Paul Robinson did an 8C. Oh, that's an 8C.
8C, exactly. So this is what people got to remember. It's got to be 8C plus, not 8C.
Plus.
So we'll look into that. But no sends this week, sadly.
No, at all.
Nothing for the counters.
That's disappointing,
it's devastating, isn't it?
In a way, it's quite good. It's kind of what we wanted, right?
What, no sends?
Yeah. Because it's easy to manage.
That's true, yeah. But it has been, we said it last week, women's 9A counter, by far the biggest one this year.
The busiest.
Yeah, the busiest, yes. Most active.
Yeah. They, like you said again, Ladies do lockdown well.
Yes, they do.
Okay, medias. Right. First up, we're talking about the latest episode from Action Talk. These guys are a Swiss crew who make videos for the main EpicTV channel. This is their 9th episode, and they followed Roger Shiley in Switzerland climbing his AB Plus project. Here's a clip. For the podcast, that probably wasn't the best clip because it was in Swiss German. There's subtitles. Sorry about that. Maybe we'll pick a clip which is more visual. Actually, either way.
Yeah, just
maybe we could like computerized voice over it. Flo, do you want to dub over it?
Computer says no.
we could just have someone describing what's going on.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Man tries really hard.
Man makes face to show that he's trying really hard.
Man falls off. Man shouldn't have fallen off.
Anyway, have you watched it?
I have watched it, and I do love the shot when he comes up onto the crux bit of the 8B and he's like slapping and the camera's right in his face and then he takes a fall off. It's a really good shot.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
worth watching. Go to the YouTube channel. Podcasts, go to the YouTube channel. Do podcasts do YouTube?
Pod Marmots.
Pod Marmots, do you do you do the YouTube?
YouTube.
Go watch it because it's really, really good. And it's nice. It actually almost made me tear up.
Wow, really? Mm-hmm. Which bit?
Just the whole vibe of it was just nice. I think I was feeling particularly emotional on a Friday.
That's fair enough.
I get that way on a Friday because my if I get tired. So yeah, sometimes I just like to have a weekly cry.
That's fine. That's fine.
Sometimes it's about work. Sometimes it's about something nice.
Right. And a man gurning who's just trying to climb an 8B is well, fair enough.
I like Roger Shiley. I think he's
nice.
He's a nice guy.
Like a lovely bloke.
Yeah.
Another nice guy, Stefano Gasolfi, EpicTV athlete. We're doing this little mini series within Climbing Daily where we're looking at EpicTV athletes. The reason I wanted to talk about Stefano is I'd forgotten how much cool stuff we filmed with that man. We were pulling together all the media. We've got like Perfecto Mundo 8Bs. We've got the Queen line, King line, all that kind of stuff in Arco. Mm-hmm. We've been in his gym. Check out this tiny little clip of Stefano.
My favorite snack in the crag is rice crackers with chocolate, the circle one. I think they're the best snack for a climbing day. I competed for the last 10 years in IFC climbing World Cups, and my best results are I won 5 World Cups, 5 little World Cups, but my favorite one is the victory in Chamonix. There was a huge crowd. I topped the final route. It was, I think, the most amazing moment in my competitions.
So that's Stefano. That's went live the other day. Link to that. Matthew Phillips was last week, and then Matthias Posch. Hopefully, I'm in contact with him. Hopefully, he's going to be next week. So a little look at some of our athletes.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good to get to know them. Comment of the week.
Oh, hang on. Shop?
Shop. Let's do shop first.
Shop?
Yeah.
Trad is rad. We know that.
Trad is very rad.
Trad is also scary. So get the trad gear to protect yourself on those scary routes. It's all about trad this week. It's good, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I need to be TV sales. Look, if you want cams, nuts, all that kind of stuff, Trad week on the EpicTV shop. Stuff is cheap. Stuff is discounted, bargained, all the rest. Grab yourself an upgraded rack. I actually spent money on climbing gear the other day.
Don't be stupid.
No, I did. I bought 2 trad rack things with my own monies.
What did you buy?
I bought an oval carabiner for my nuts.
Very nice.
Got to rack my nuts properly. So one oval carabiner and a sling.
Okay.
And a knee pad.
Okay.
It's the wrong size. I'm having to send it back.
Probably.
No, I do. I have to go through the EpicTV return process, which I just want to say is fairly easy.
Because you just walk up to the office upstairs because Orange is just there.
Yeah, Filippo was like, I'll print you out a label and just send it off. It was very simple. I spent money on trad gear, so you should too.
If I was going to spend money on trad gear, I would spend money on the Wild Country Zeros.
Really?
Zero Friends. Yeah.
The little micros.
I like the look of them.
Okay, so in one box you've got the zeros, and
Yeah.
the other box you've got the Z4s from Black Diamond.
I think I'd go for the Wild Country Zeros.
Interesting.
I have
Okay.
no idea why. I don't really even trad climb.
No,
But
especially not micro trad climb.
I don't even I want to go for a micro crack.
Right, okay. But it would be the Wild Country.
I don't know. I just feel like I don't know why. I have no idea what I'd buy.
I like the colours of them.
I'd buy a jacket, a trad
A
jacket.
trad jacket, not
Yeah.
a gilet.
Yes, I
trad
think that
gilet.
every trad climber should have a gilet.
Right, I agree. I agree.
Hello, Franco, my dog, who's desperate for attention. Go to Flo. He likes you
Podcast,
more.
if you're watching Pod
No, he
Marmots,
doesn't. I love you more.
Hugo's stroking a dog.
I'm stroking my dog. He's a border collie.
It's very beautiful.
Yeah, if you tune in to the Twitch live on a Thursday, you'll probably see him.
Sometimes not on a Thursday.
Sometimes on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, should we mention that again?
Yeah, we should. So Twitch, we started Twitch last week. So Twitch is a streaming platform usually for computer game people, but we are smashing into this. We're branching out into a new area. We're doing live board sessions on the EpicTV climbing wall that's just been built. Currently, we're sticking that onto YouTube, but we're doing something with it on YouTube. That might not last forever, but we just want to remind people we're on Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah.
So at the moment, you can catch last week's session uncut, unedited. It's an hour of us being idiots on the YouTube channel, link down below. And there's our Twitch account. You can follow us as well.
Exactly. Good. Franco.
Comments of the week. We had a controversial show for us last week where we discussed Black Lives Matter, and there were a lot of comments on that.
Okay, so comment of the week, tune. Comment.
I don't know how. Yeah, comment of the week.
Very good. Okay, so first off, thanks very much to everybody for commenting. I think probably one of our most commented on videos last week. It sparked a lot of good conversation. Just good conversation. It was good to have. There wasn't anything too negative there. There was really good people's opinions, people's perspectives, kind of swapping. I didn't feel like there was too much kind of arguing and stuff like that. Flo, do you want to take Franco? Go on, go over to Flo. Go on.
They were what I found interesting.
So my dog was just begging for attention. Can't give him all the attention.
There was some very. I was amazed by everything that was said. There was different points of view on it, and that's what I found really interesting. It's just that this is such a diversive issue. And I didn't realize it'd be that diversive, but everything that we said, everything that got brought up, had people for it, people against it, people's point of views. It was fascinating. Yeah,
definitely. And I think what needs to be kind of reiterated is that I don't think we're kind of saying that the climbing industry is overtly racist. Like, there aren't individual factions within the climbing industry that are racist and kind of against, the BAME community and people of color kind of thing. But I think, after getting a few kind of messages and stuff during the week and people saying, look, really glad you kind of brought this up, and kind of talking about their experiences, I think maybe there's more racism on a kind of passive level, whereby, people climbing, struggling to find partners kind of thing because they are a person of color, but not necessarily knowing that for sure, but just it's that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Whereby it's not overtly racism. It's because just people maybe aren't as educated as they possibly could be, and they don't realize the situation kind of thing. And maybe somebody in the BAME community needs a little bit more encouragement, or needs a bit more help kind of finding a partner kind of thing. So stuff like that, I think, was interesting to get those kind of messages.
Yeah, I think it's hard to argue against the fact that people of color are underrepresented within the climbing industry. I think that's fairly standard. Whether for what reasons and whether that's wrong or right, that's the conversation. But I think that they are underrepresented, and we need to represent more people.
And again, we are. It's not us pointing any fingers.
No.
It's very much us pointing fingers at ourselves.
Yeah, we are the media.
We are the media, and we have a massive responsibility to kind of tell these stories. And we haven't been, to be frankly honest, we haven't been doing a good enough job. And that is something we want to address, and we will. So therefore, we want to keep talking about this. So that's why, hence, we want to talk about it today and the comments that you guys have made.
So my comment, we're not going to put their name on this. You can go and find it on YouTube. Fairly angry, disgusting, you cowards. We all know that underrepresentation of black people in climbing has nothing to do with racism. You know it too. It's really pathetic that you would lie through your teeth just to appease the extreme left-wing crowd. The reason I wanted to bring this up is because I don't think anyone's appeasing anyone, and I really don't. I think that it's an issue that needs to be discussed, and I think there's nothing wrong with discussing it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an extreme left wing. I think it's an extreme right wing. I think it's the conversation needs to be happening right in the middle of everyone because, as we said with the media, we need to do something about it. It's a point of view that was reflected by a few people, and it's this underthinking of people being like, hang on a sec, I'm not racist, I don't have, this is not me, you can't point these fingers at me. I don't think anyone's pointing the fingers, we just need to do better, and that's the conversation.
I think it's like, if you haven't experienced it, doesn't mean it's not an issue.
Yeah.
So that's where the education comes in. It's like, people say educate, it's a nice way of just saying, whoops, bang a minute, Mike. It's just a nice way of saying understand other perspectives and what kind of other people have experienced. That's essentially what you're doing, and educating yourself on Black Lives Matter and kind of like that, the history of that, and kind of, you know, what kind of people of color and black people have kind of gone through in the last kind of 400 or 500 years. But yeah, I think I'm gonna read this one. This is a bit more of a positive one. It says, love to see the conversation started, as well as seeking out the stories of POC climbers. Another suggestion would be to bring climbing to POC, organise sponsor events where you welcome new climbers into the community, schools, universities, lower income communities, or even go to places where the main population is people of colour. Example, Puerto Rico, Brazil, Caribbean, South American. See what the climbing scene is like in those places, but please do not cover white climbers establishing roots there, but having nothing to do with people of said place. Bonus, also cover non-traditional body types bigger in the climbing community. The Pacific Northwest have some initiatives. Okay, so long one there. The reason I want to talk about that was twofold. I think those are some great ideas. There are loads of bodies out there kind of doing this kind of great work that we need to kind of basically touch base with and collaborate with and highlight the great work that they are doing. Secondly, all those destinations I reckon you probably want to go to.
Yes.
So I think maybe we should start planning some trips.
Right.
Or at least commissioning some.
No,
some
we should
trips.
plan trips. We should definitely go. I need to oversee this. Cool. That sounds good to me.
Okay. Nice.
Right.
But let us know. Keep the conversation going. For me personally, I think it's really important to keep the conversation going. I think, Matt, you're in the same boat. Mm-hmm. You know, we might be accused of being kind of lefty liberals and you know, talking on trend and stuff like that. So I don't want this to be like a trend. This is something that we're going to work hard on continuously. And if you see this is like for you, all you guys, if you see us like lacking on it, call us out on it. Like, if you think that we're not doing enough, call us out. Keep calling us out. We're open to hearing your thoughts, and we're open to you kind of calling us out all the time. Definitely.
Yeah. Cool. Another very political, in-depth show. I like this.
Yes, exactly. We got anything else to talk about?
I'm done. I'm finished.
Yeah?
Finished. Right, cool. If you want to go and see this on the podcast, remember we've got a podcast, Spotify and iTunes. It's up there, so you can listen to our dulcet tones in your car.
What are you doing this weekend?
This weekend, just standing in wet Chamonix. Just will not stop raining.
Don't, what's your backup if you're not climbing? Quickly, because we've got to wrap it up, apparently.
Biking and running and drinking coffee in my bed.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of biking.
Excellent.
So much fun. Anyway.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.